It's such a shame that some people felt the need to mock their inclusion in that UN General Assembly. We saw what I call the British blue check attack, which I think is fitting considering how it happened. But basically,
it was kind of strange, the concentration of like, why are these British writers and media folks so upset about this? Why only them?
It was really weird, and then it got even weirder. Like, it took turns that I didn't see coming. But yeah, it came out of nowhere. Like, for those who don't know, the senior editor of The Economist decided to write "Please No" on the Washington Post article that said that BTS are giving a message of hope in these troubling times. And Army said, "What the hell? But you have a problem with BTS or a message of hope? Like, which one is it? Because both of these options are not it." And she apologized, but after that apology, and that was just a fake apology, and it's like, "Oh, it was just a joke, I didn't mean it." And then after that apology, all the other British blue check writers came out of the woodwork and said, "Oh, it's just the internet, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, what do you want? It's just a little Korean boy band with no real importance." And then it got even weirder with someone saying you can't be racist against white people because of the Holocaust, which we're not going to go there. Yeah. So you wrote a very nice article about it. You want to talk about it a bit?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, all of the negative feedback that you saw on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that continued into the weekend regarding BTS and the UN speech. The sad truth is that none of this is new. There's a years-long history of writers, radio show hosts, other media people talking dismissively about BTS, trying to write their success off as just, the product of hysterical teenage girls, or to, I thought the most egregious comment was the one, all this for a little Korean boy band that's fundamentally not important. I mean, there's numerous things. It's like every word of that tweet, it's like there's a different reason that that's problematic. But really, I would encourage the writer of that tweet to stop and ask yourself, would you include, if this were about a band or a group of people of any other race, would you have felt as confident putting that race in the place of Korean? And I suspect that the answer would be no, because I think that they would have known better. But the tendency to dismiss BTS as a cultural phenomenon and to write off their fan base as a bunch of, hysterical teenagers, teen girls specifically. Yeah. There's a number of different motivations behind it, a bunch of different isms, basically. It's like, take your pick. Is it racism? Is it sexism? Is it ageism toward young people? Or is it xenophobia? Or is it a combination of all of the above? And, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to certain people who were involved in this whole scuffle. People make mistakes. People are, they can be careless with their words. I've done it. You've probably done it. We've all done it. But it's when you're presented with evidence as to why exactly was this problematic? Why was this maybe the wrong take? Why were your words hurtful to a large group of people? The way that you react to those things and internalize them and learn from them, that really determines whether or not you've grown or you've learned anything from this interaction. I think it's possible that some of the people who were involved in this whole, in the, what did you call them? The British blue check brigade. Yeah. I think it's possible that some of the people involved grew from that. I think it's very likely that some of them just dug their heels in and doubled down on their original takes. And, I could see that in the people I follow who were encouraging other people to stop engaging with them, because at a certain point, it's like, there's like maybe a 24 or 48 hour window during which any sort of like discourse or like beef on Twitter can be meaningful and produce any positive results. After that, it's just, this becomes an attention thing. Like I just like to stoke the flames of controversy because it's fun or because it's a way to signal boost myself. And, you know, some people just aren't going to learn from that, and that's sad, but it's true.
Yeah. We're actually as a fan pretty used to people like doing it on purpose. We had Mr. Beast do it recently, this gamer Frosty or whatever do it recently. Keemstar does it all the time. H3 from the podcast did it. Like we're used to people that do it just for the sake of doing it. Mm-hmm. And we usually, sometimes we're strong enough to ignore it. Sometimes there's, like you said, like a 24-hour where people engage and then just stop. So usually, but this just came out of nowhere and just completely took us by surprise. And like, these aren't the type of people that you would assume would start something like this. Mm-hmm. So we were really surprised by it.
You know, I think one thing that is always worth asking in times like this, like when people have dismissive or, you know, offensive things to say about BTS or about their fandom, about any non-white artist, really, I think it's worth asking, like, what was your motivation behind making this joke or this snide comment? Like, sure, maybe you were joking about this, but what were you hoping to accomplish? What was your joke rooted in? You know, every joke has some sort of point or message behind it. So what was yours? What were you trying to get across when you said this? And furthermore, you know, I saw multiple people, and I turn off a lot of my Twitter notifications, and I try not to engage too much with stuff that doesn't involve me. But I saw so many examples of people saying, like, you know, these are the racist comments that I've had to endure my whole life. You know, I've had to deal with this. Here's why your joke wasn't funny, because here's the discrimination I have personally faced for years. Do you think that's funny? And I just don't understand, when you're listening to other people relay the prejudice that they have personally felt and experienced, how can you deny that? Or how can you say, I don't care, I'm going to stick to my guns, my point still stands, you know, I stand behind my joke, or whatever else I said? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Me too. Like, I feel like in 2020, a joke at someone else's expense can only be seen as a joke only if that person that you're joking about is okay with it. That's the only way. Like, anything else, if that person isn't there to say it, it's not okay anymore. You can't say that. It's right. No longer a joke. It's just mean.
Exactly.